Welcome to Everyone Has a Story. I'm your host, Marcus Jones, and we have a great show today. My guest is here to tell his story about his life experiences. I feel that anybody who comes on this show and tell their story is a strong person. And I hope that the stories on this show help people in their situations, what they're going through, and better themselves and make them a stronger individual. I want to say welcome to Andre Johnson. Welcome, brother.
Hey, thank you for having me, brother.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Okay.
Let's just get right to it. Why do you want to tell your story?
Because I feel my story is relevant to a lot of people, and I think it'd be encouraging for a lot of people to hear, a little bit about my background and everything, So that's why I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about your childhood then. Let's start there.
I had a pretty good childhood up until I was 9 years old. Anyway, my mom and dad got divorced and stuff, and I was a little bit sad about that, because I was more of a daddy's boy, and I really couldn't be with my father, like I wanted to be. So
you stayed with your moms?
Right, I stayed with my moms. And,
up until what age?
Well, I stayed with mom until like 21.
21.
Yeah. I stayed with mom, but it's like anything else. It has its ups and downs. Because again, the divorce really affected me. A lot of people, a lot of people don't realize how divorce
affects
the child.
Yeah,
and the family. And the family. Yeah, it really does. So I just, I tried to keep myself up, stay encouraged, and just keep on pursuing what I need to pursue,
Okay. Where you originally from? Where'd you grow up at?
I grew up in Markham.
In Markham?
Markham, Illinois, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the viewers out there, give us a little geographical of where Markham is. Is it in the city?
I said Markham is in the south suburbs.
South suburbs.
South suburbs, okay. And it's around Orland Park, Tilly Park,
okay.
Oak Forest, Dalton,
okay.
Harvey, Dixmoor, all those places, yeah.
Now, how is it, because I grew up in the city.
Right.
Now, how different is it growing up in a suburb than it is in the city?
Well, I moved to the city in '92, so I can tell you, but being in the city as long as I have been, I definitely tell you some differences. Suburbs are a lot more quieter, especially when I was growing up. It was a lot more quieter. It was real peaceful.
More homes out there.
Yeah, more
homes out there.
Yeah,
so
nice.
It's not like a project area.
No, no, it's not too many project areas. I mean, it has some. It's a few, but not like the ones in the city.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's way different. So it was.
What grammar school did you go to?
Grammar school. There? I went to Prairie Hills.
Prairie Hills.
Yeah.
Is that also in Markham?
That's also in Markham. That's in Canterbury.
It's Canterbury.
Yeah, because it's Markham has 5 different townships. You got Canterbury, you got Old Markham, you got Bel Air, Country Air. So yeah.
Okay. So by you being raised by single moms,
yeah,
but you had good relationship with your father or not? He just
I tell you what, I had a good relationship with my dad. It was, he was a weekend dad. He came and picked me up every weekend and stuff like that. It was, I guess the thing that I didn't like is that my sister was kind of left out a little bit,
Okay.
And it kind of put a thing,
put a strain on
our
siblings?
relationships,
Okay.
on our relationships.
So,
which I didn't realize because I was so young. You know what I'm saying? I was a kid still. I didn't realize all this stuff until I got older and be like, wow, that must have been really horrible.
Right.
Yeah.
So you had what, 2 sisters?
Two
one
sisters.
Sister?
Yeah,
Younger sisters?
Younger
older
sisters, yeah.
Okay. So, and you going to grammar school, you graduated from grammar school, now you're in high school,
right.
In the peer pressure area and, all the temptation.
Yeah.
How did that go for you in high school?
Well, I really just was myself. I stayed to myself, and I had friends that looked out for me and took care of me pretty much because, you know, everybody loves my mom. My mom was a neighborhood mom. She wasn't just my mom. She was a neighborhood mom, and everybody, you know, could come over and, you know, eat and hang out and whatever, you know. So she took care of the neighborhood and stuff, and she was a good mom, you know. And so because of that, a lot of times my friends wouldn't let me get into things they were getting into, you know, saying I can recall a situation where, you know, these guys were going to have a big fight after school, and I wanted to stay and help my buddies, you know. And one of the senior of the group, he was like, "You got to go home." So I had to get on the bus and go home because I listened to him, I respected him. I was a freshman, so, you know.
Okay, so was this a gang group, or these was just somebody that you looked up to or protected you in the neighborhood because you was like a good kid?
Yeah. That was more so like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did they have gangs out in the suburbs?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. They had the same gangs that are in the city, the suburbs. It's just that they carry itself different. You know, they're not all real thuggish out there. You know what I'm saying? You'll be hard to spot one sometimes.
Now, I thought that's what the gangs was, thugs.
Yeah, but
out
there it was, you know, coming in high school it wasn't like that. You know, they wear Argyle shirts and you know, and tight jeans and penny loafers. You wouldn't expect them. You wouldn't know them, but until something broke out, then you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from high school, did you further your education? Did you take up a skill trade?
After high school, I attended junior college. I went to South Suburban College, and you know, I was into sports, and I had just started boxing and stuff. So I kind of got distracted, and I never did. The only thing I regret is I didn't get a degree.
Okay.
I left and pursued my boxing career. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in high school, you know, a lot of teenagers and the youth, they have goals, aspirations, you know, they want to accomplish something. Some of them, I don't say all of them.
Oh, right.
But did you have any of those things? Did you have any goals? Did you want to accomplish something in life? Or did you were still like
Well, I always knew that I definitely wanted to be in the spotlight. I definitely wanted to, you know, be an entertainer or a sports guy or whatever, because you know, I'm kind of a Renaissance guy when it comes down to like the arts, and I'm also a pretty good athlete too. You know, my grandpa, Willie Patrick Kidd, he played for the Kansas City Monarchs. So, so you know, that athleticism, and then I got a lot of cousins that went downstate for wrestling. My dad was a All-American too, so it's kind of that sport thing was kind of in my blood, but also too as well. I went far into the arts as I could possibly go. I think I've done everything in art as far as photography, acting, you know, you name it, I've done it, you know.
Okay, so touching back on to the box, because I heard something about boxing.
Yeah.
How did you get into the boxing?
Well, I was watching Sugar Ray Leonard one day, and he looked real smooth doing that, and I was like, you know what, I could do that too.
Right.
Yeah. So I went to the gym on West Pullman Park District.
Okay.
And that's where I started.
West Pullman Park is
123rd.
23rd.
Off Halsted.
Off Halsted.
Yeah, off Halsted.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the south side.
South
of the city.
side. Yeah.
Okay.
And that was the closest gym to me. So I went to that gym, and well, they didn't really train me too much because the guy that was running the gym, he wasn't really a trainer. He just kind of had all the fancy rings.
Okay.
So he just kind of threw me in the ring and said, "Do what you do."
Okay.
And I did it, you know.
Around that time, did you have any role models or anything, somebody you looked up to?
Yeah, I mean, I looked up to my dad a lot, you know. But his, you know, the way he's a very talented person, and you know, I respect him as an artist, you know, because he's a better artist than he claims to be, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, and the man can mix. He used to paint cars and race cars and stuff like that, you know, when I was a kid. And the man can mix colors that ain't even on this planet, you know. So yeah, he's real good. So I respected him, and I looked up to him. Yeah, he was pretty much my.
Did he come and see you at the training when you could go to the training in the boxing?
Boxing. You know what? I'll be honest with you. No, he didn't, because I don't think he could handle seeing somebody hit himself. head, you know.
Okay.
You know, so that's part of the reason he stayed away from me, to be honest.
He
with
didn't
you,
want to get.
he didn't want to see his son meet up.
Get in the boxing ring with you, then.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, so he stayed away from that pretty much. He's like, well, you just do it, you know. If that's what you want to do, you do it. But you know, I'm not gonna go see that, you know.
Okay.
So yeah.
So from there, your mom's raising you and everything. So you were you disciplined? Did you have much guidance in that area? A transition from high school to boxing?
I'll be honest with you. When I first told my mom that I was gonna box, she looked at me and said, "No, you're not doing that."
What did she want you to do?
Well, my mom just wanted me to be happy, doing whatever I wanted to do, and that's kind of why she just turned her back on it and said, "Okay, you go ahead and do it if that's what you want to do." And I trained hard, and she knew I was training for something because I had started lifting weights when I was probably about 11, 12.
11, 12?
Yeah.
Okay. I see you a big guy. I mean,
yeah.
what level were you going to be on in the boxing? The heavyweight, the lightweight?
Well, when I first went in, believe it or not, I'm not too skinny, but I used to be about 175 pounds.
75 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I wanted to be a heavyweight, you know. But I ran too much for that because I used to run at least twice a week. I would run like 8 miles.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard to gain weight, you know, doing that. So eventually I did become a legitimate heavyweight. I was about 215.
Okay.
But even in the heavyweight division now, it's, you know, you got giants now. You know,
Right,
215 is nothing. That's it's almost going back to the 40s or something. You know.
Okay. So after the boxing didn't go too far, did you have any more goals or?
Well, with the boxing, you know, I had a manager, and he invested a lot of money in me and stuff. I can't say he didn't. He did come out of his pocket to do what he had to do as far as that goes, but I just couldn't get the man to show up to anything, you know, which kind of left me discouraged. So I left boxing. I said I'll never go back.
So after boxing, did you pick up a job or?
I always worked a job anyway. Always maintained a job. I was a manager at Shirley Shoes. Okay. And I also was a manager for Edison Brothers too, which owned Coder and Bakers and Wild Pear and all that stuff when it was real big. But yeah, I ran into a pro wrestler downtown named Sonny Rogers, and he gave me his card and told me to stop by one day, and it took me about a year.
A year from pro wrestler giving you a card to actually meeting him?
Yeah. Well, it took me a year because I really hadn't decided if I wanted to go back to boxing too. Because here's the thing. I ran into when I was a manager at Shirley Shoes. I ran into Manuel Stewart.
Okay. And
he remembered me from the amateurs, and he invited me down to his camp, and you know that was in my mind. So. And then I was looking at the card that Sonny gave me, and I was like, man, that was pro wrestling was in my mind too. So I was like, you know what? I did boxing for 7 years. Let me try this. Okay. So that's how I ended up going to wrestling, pro wrestling.
Okay. And how long did you stay
in pro wrestling?
In pro wrestling?
7 years. About 7, 8 years.
Okay. And what name or title was it? I know it's WWE, WWL.
I was with the PWI, which actually has an active magazine now. On stands. PWI, Pro Wrestling International.
Okay, so you were with them 7 years, and I really couldn't get off into the wrestling because it looked phony. Really, to be honest with you.
Well, it's choreographed. It's choreographed, but it's a tough business. And the reason I'm not doing it to this day is because it beats your body up so bad. Okay, it tears your body up. I mean, I've had cracked tailbones, torn ACL. Okay. You know,
it's real hard on the body.
It's real hard on the body. It's real hard on the body. So, you know, I mean, and I guess if I had been more, I think my problem was I just wasn't agile enough. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I was so stiff, you know, and you got to be a real agile person. Even if you're a big guy, you still got to be a real agile person because, see, you got to take bumps, which is learning how to fall, you know, and that's the key to pro wrestling. If you don't learn how to fall, forget it. Okay. Because you're gonna mess yourself up.